My screen visible to all of you? Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
So, in companies, we have some servers, and this is our on-premises setup, right? So, everything that is present inside our on-premises campus, right? In on-premises infrastructures, we need servers. Servers are basically different types, right? So, when you talk about server, so any computer that is providing any type of service that is known as server, right? Handling the requests of your clients. So like that, for every task, like you are accessing any website, like you are using the e-commerce website, Facebook, Instagram, and anything. Whenever you use a website, basically website is created on the web technologies like front end, back end, right? These technologies are used to create a website. But how these websites are publicly available to the general public? So with the help of servers, you will host your website after creating it. So whatever the developer is. So developer will once create the entire website, and for making it publicly available, we need to host this website on a hosting platform. Like general, when you talk about general hosting providers, so we have our GoDaddy Hostinger. We use these type of providers. But as an organization, we can also host these websites on our servers. Like we can set up our own server for hosting the websites. So like this is possible with the help of servers. And DHCP, have you heard about DHCP? Dynamic Host Configuration Protocols. That is responsible for giving automatic IP addresses to the client. So this protocol we can configure on the server. We can use the ADDS service on the server. Like for different type of services, we can use the servers. And when we talk about servers, so how you can validate your knowledge upon the servers. So for this, we have our MCSA, Microsoft Certified Solution Associate, right? So we can prepare for this. And after this, we have our Azure 104. Like you are working on the on-premises infrastructure, but nowadays the companies are moving towards the cloud infrastructure. Why cloud? Because cloud provides you the scalability, elasticity. We have multiple benefits of using cloud, right? Let's suppose you have the e-commerce website, and the normal traffic per day is like 100 users. But sometimes when there is a sale on your e-commerce website, so maybe thousands requests will come on these sales day, right? On that days, how you can handle these requests? So handling these requests may be difficult for your regular server. So you need to upgrade that server for handling thousand requests per day. So for that purpose, in if you are in on-premises infrastructure, so you need to purchase a new server, you need to set up a new server, right? And this is a time-taking process in on-premises infrastructure. But when you talk about the cloud infrastructure, so the scalability is very much easy. Like suddenly a requirement is increased, so you can just scale up your virtual machine or a container, so your requirement will be easily satisfied. So today in market, server administration requires both the technologies, the knowledge about the Windows server and knowledge about the cloud, right? And for the Windows Server administrator, Azure is the best choice because both are the product of Microsoft. So that's why learning this combination is a very good advantage for every student that were preparing for Windows Server administrator or a Azure administrator, right? So this is our course where we are first going to start with the MCSA syllabus. We learn about the servers like Windows Server 2022, 2025, 2019. and all the additions of Windows Server and the core functionalities of Windows Server, right? All the functions and services that are available on our Windows environment. We cover that services in MCSA part. And after completing our MCSA part, we will move towards the Azure, where we will introduce ourselves to the Azure environment, the cloud environment, how you can use the services of cloud, what are the different services available inside the cloud. Like in cloud, we have our virtual machines, virtual networks, backup services, recovery vaults, like all these services, how you can utilize these services, and how you can move your infrastructure from on-premises to cloud. What are the integration options available here? So we have going to discuss all these things, right? This we have to cover. So let's first start with the introduction of our Azure. So what is Microsoft Azure, right? In our second part, we are going to cover the Azure. So Microsoft Azure is a cloud computing platform developed by Microsoft. Okay. So Microsoft is a popular company that has developed the cloud platform. Like for the cloud services, we also have any other providers. Like we have AWS, GCP, right? So we also have the other providers of cloud, but we are choosing the Azure because the infrastructure of Azure is well developed and the it have many availability zones and the regions, right? So it have three geographical regions present inside the India, right? So we can use the geographical locations. And in our Microsoft Azure, we have a different type of variety of services, like wide range of services. And the starting time, the cloud is limited to the some type of services like storage or computing. But nowadays, the cloud have multiple service, more than of 1,000 services it is offering to us. So when you talk about the administrator level, right? So for the administrator level, we have the AZ-104 certification. In that certification, majorly we are going to cover the compute services like virtual machines and containers. And for the storage service, blob storage, disk storage, and file storage. Then we are also going to cover the networking part, like virtual network, load balancers, VPNs, right? And Azure's also have offering other services like databases services, SQL databases, Cosmos DB, and it also have some applications for AI ML, like for training the AI models, machine learning models. It have the own tools that you can use for the computer vision purpose or NLP purpose, right? And it have the security features like for managing the identity, it have the Azure Active Directory. For managing the identity, it have Azure Active Directory. Nowadays, the name is changed. So nowadays, it is called as Microsoft Intra ID. Right? The name of service is changed. Okay. Next, there are some benefits why we will use the cloud, right? So when you talk about the infrastructure, on-premises infrastructure, right? So let's suppose we have purchased a server, okay, and our requirement is to host a website, right? So let's suppose we have approximately 100 clients that come to our website per day, right? And for this, we need a set up a server. We are a server administrator. We require to set up a server for our organization. So, which configuration you will suggest to your organization for 100 requests per day for hosting a web server? Any idea?
No, sir.
So, like, it depends on the website also. So, how dynamic your website are making. So, let's suppose we have a simple website like a IT support website. We have launched a ticketing system. And that ticketing system, our per day complaint register is 100, right? So for that, we required 16 GB of RAM and 512 GB of storage. This is the minimum requirement, right, for hosting a server. And in this hardware, along with the server, other things you also required, like required a network. So you will create a network. You will use the router and switches for the connectivity. For managing these router and switches, we required the network engineer, and we also set up a firewall for our organization. So we need a network security engineer, and also we need a server administrators, and we need the desktop support engineers for maintenance, right? And also along with this, we need the infrastructure cost. We have to maintain the infrastructure, cooling solution like electricity. So we need to manage all these things, right? So setting a web server and on-premises infrastructure is quite expensive and time taking. Okay. Because when you set up your own server, so it includes many costs, like a network engineer you required, a network security engineer required, Windows Server administrator is required, and the infrastructure cost is required. So many costs is required for you. Right? So it is an expensive option. And other thing that you need, a power supply, and the proper power supply is very much important for the high availability, right? And this, if you have set up the ones, like let's suppose we have set up all the things, but what if we need to expand our organization? We have increased the number of clients. So now the number of requests increased from 100 to 900 per day. So at that time, particularly the client will increase. So how you can handle all these things? For handling all these things, you're required to upscale your environment, right? You need some more servers for handling these requests. And when you look at the on-premises infrastructure, demanding for a new technology is quite tough. Like first, you need to take the permission to the IT manager. Then IT manager will give it to the higher level. So you must need to follow the hierarchy, right? So going through the hierarchy, it will take a long time. So this is also problem. So it is a very time-taking process for upscaling our infrastructure, right? But in cloud, we do not have this type of tension. So what we can go? We can use pay as you go model. Like for that time, you will use the resource. Just for only that time, you need to pay. Uh, like in early so 2025, right? So you can see that there are gaming stations around in 2010 and 2015. There are some gaming stations. For that in gaming station, we just have to bear some small fees for the hourly basis, right? If you need to play the games, we will give just a basic fees like 5 rupees or 10 rupees, and they will alert you the system like PS, right? And that PS you can use and you can play the games. Like that, our cloud is working on pay as you go model. Like for how much time you are using, for just that time you need to pay the pricing, pay the bill, right? Highly scalable means scalability is very much easy. Like according to the your loads, so VMs can auto scale up. So it is also an advantage. Like manually scale up is also possible. But if you want that according to the requests, the server will automatically scale up, like automatically increase its RAM, storage, and memory. So it is also possible inside our cloud environment. So we can use the auto scaling VMs. We can use the containers. From that, the scalability is very easy, right? And it is secure and reliable. How secure? Basically, we did not need to take care about the security because the networking part is managed by the Azure, the security part is managed by the Azure, right? Just need to take care about our core services, whereas the infrastructure is handled by the Azure. So that's why it is very much secure and reliable and integrated with Microsoft tools. Like Azure is very good for the integration with the other Microsoft products. Like we have Azure Connect, AD Connect, right? So we can use these tools. We have Azure Explorer for managing our storages. So these type of tools we can use with our environment. So it is good for the integration purpose. So for the Windows admin, Azure is a very good choice because of the great ecosystem for the integrity. So what is AZ-104, right? So like a normal student's life, we have some sort of degrees like we have BTech, MTech, BCA, MCA, right? So what they are actually doing, the degrees, what they are doing, they are just validating your knowledge, right? And the degrees are nowadays a very common thing. So how you can stand out yourself among these multiple thousands of peoples, right? For how you can prove your knowledge on a particular area. So for that, we have the skill-based certifications. So the certifications are offering from the Microsoft also, like for our Azure Cloud. We have our Azure Administrator Associate certification. So the exam code for that certification is AZ-104, right? So this certification will validate your skills at the global level. So after giving the examination for this certification, you will get certified from the Microsoft and you will earn the Microsoft certification that is Azure Administrator Associate. This will validate your skills upon the Azure cloud services like computing services, storage service, networking service, identity, and security. So these are the area that is going to cover inside our AZ-104. So
No,
AZ-104 is our
sir.
second part. Yeah.
The AZ-104 is administration for Azure. It certification holidays for the only 1 year, no, sir?
Yeah, the validation of the certification is 1 year. And after the 1 year, you will apply for the renewal.
After that, once again, will to join the.
Yeah, within that duration, you can apply for the again revalidation. So reassessment, again, you have to give the exam. Then you will get the extended validity for 1 year again, right? So all the certifications have 1 year
Okay, sir.
validity. Okay. So after this, we have our MCSA, right? MCSA certification is basically based on the entire knowledge of our Windows Server, and it have also the sub technologies. Like MCSA is nowadays a very popular certification. When you talk about the server administration, so they thought like MCSA, everyone talk about the MCSA because MCSA is one of the most popular certification from the Microsoft, right? So what is MCSA? MCSA stands for Microsoft Certified Solution Associate. It is an entry-level certification program. It is offered by Microsoft. So for people that are looking job inside the IT options, like they are wanted to make a IT career. So this is the entry-level certification from them. It validates your skills on core Azure technologies like Windows Server, Windows and SQL Server, Office 365. Like these subjects are involved in this. Designed for individual aspiring for working in IT infrastructure and a system administrator or a network management partner. Okay. So this is the ideal certification for the IT support engineers, infrastructure engineers, right? The administrators, system administrators. So for these are a very good certification that will validate your skills.
So
Like
nowadays
when you,
the certification is closed, nothing.
yeah, it is retired. So here you can get this point. These are certifications that retired in 2021. So basically before retiring, it have these core domains. And from these, the Windows Server ones are the most popular for the MCSA, right? So we have different type of certification before the retiring. These are different type of certification like Windows Server 2012, 16, Windows 10, SQL servers, Office 365. All these products are available, right? But nowadays you can't do the certifications because the certification is retired by the Microsoft. And nowadays we have the role-based certification. Okay. So the alternatives are nowadays the role-based certifications. For our MCSA server one, we have our AZ-800 and 801. So you can target these certifications for the similar set of knowledge. So why it is important? So why it is very much valuable? Why MCSA is valuable, right? So recognized worldwide as an validation of Microsoft technology skills. Because for validating our knowledge, we require certain set of certifications, our degrees, right? So the skills, when you want to validate your skills upon the Microsoft technologies, the server technologies, the MCSA is the one of the popular certifications, the popular options available that days. Okay. Helps in gathering entry-level to mid-level jobs in IT industry. So after completing this certification, you can go for the entry-level jobs or the mid-level jobs. Like you can apply for the tech support engineers, IT support engineer, system support engineers. And for mid-level, you can assign for the L2 job roles, L2 support engineers, or a server administrator, Windows server administrator, system administrator. So you can target these roles. Okay. So it will validate the skills of all the technologies. Like you have the knowledge of Windows Server, the core services of Windows Server, AD, DNS, like all these things. So career growth after completing the certification, or either it is any certification, you will get more better opportunities to prove yourself, right? Whenever you want the certification inside your resume, so it will highlight your resume. So it will enhance your resume, increase the chance of getting hired. Okay. And also after completing the certifications, you can get the promotions in your existing company also. You can get shift to the better technical roles. Like if you are working on the desktop support engineer, so you can move towards the system administrator. So like these things you can do. Okay. And nowadays we have our AZ 800 and 801. So what replaced MCSA? So in the replacement of MCSA, we have nowadays the role-based certifications, right? And when you talk about the role-based certification, we have different type of options available here. Like you can go with the Microsoft Certified Azure Administrator Associate. That is our AZ-104. Okay. And we have also other option like Modern Desktop Administration Associate and Windows Server Hybrid Administrator Associate. So we have different type of role-based certification options nowadays. Okay. So this certification is going to cover the first certification, Azure 104, and also we are going to cover this one. So this is AZ 800 and 801. So this will also cover along with this course. So with the on-premises knowledge of the servers, we are also going to get the knowledge of servers inside the Azure environment, how you can deploy the AD server inside the Azure environment. This is also going to be covered in this course. So like from this popular options, like three certifications are also going in this cover in this course, our combination course, right? This syllabus of this certification will also we will going to cover. So first certification will cover. So this one also cover. Okay. And this also covers and this also covers. So when you take a look on the role-based certifications, so we are also touch the syllabus of these all certifications. After completing this course, you can able to take the exam of these certifications, right? So you can move towards these certifications also. So nowadays these are the replacement for our MCSA rather than doing the MCSA because the MCSA is not available today. So we can go towards these certifications and we can do these certifications. And this is the some small demo of what is the modules we are going to cover. This is the basic curriculum, basic syllabus that we are going to cover in this course. We have total 6 modules in this course. Okay. So we have our first module, Windows Server Basic and Installation. Here we will learn about the basic architecture of our Windows Server, what is the installation process of Windows Server, how you can install these servers, how you can do the basic configuration, what is the licensing process, how you can activate the license, what are the basic configuration. Like this is involves in first module. The first module is about the basics. After completing the first module, we will move towards the second module, that is Active Directory and Domain Services. Like for managing the multiple clients, we have the popular service ADDS, right? So whenever you are using the Windows Server, specifically, you will also use the ADDS service in your Windows Server. So Active Directory Domain Services. So in our second module, we will learn how we can install and manage the Active Directory services. What are users, group, OUs, and what are the different group policies, and how you can configure DNS, DHCP, and how you can manage the multiple clients with the centralized location from the centralized server, right? For this, we will learn about the ADDS, Active Directory Domain Services, in our second module. And after this, we will move towards our third module, that is about the networking and storage. So we'll learn about the IP addressing, the different type of allocations of IP address, static allocation, static IP address, the dynamic IP address, right? The protocol that is responsible like DHCP. We will learn how to configure the DHCP server. We will learn how to configure a DNS server, domain name systems. So the setuping of all these servers we are going to cover. How you can manage these files and storage services. What are the network policy access services? And last, backup, restore, desert recovery. All these things we are going to cover in our third module. After completing these 3 modules, we'll move towards the cloud part. Okay. So inside our cloud, we have the introduction to Microsoft Azure. First, we will learn about the basic architecture, like what is cloud, why we are using the cloud, what are the advantages, and how you can use these services of cloud infrastructure. So what is the process of account creation, how you can use the services from where you can manage all these services, how you can access the portal, what are the different ways to access all the services that are present inside the Microsoft Azure. So like these things we're going to cover in the introduction part. Then after this, you will move towards the core services, right? In core services, we are going to start with the virtual machines. What are the virtual machines? How you can deploy these virtual machines? What is the use of these virtual machines, right? how you can create them. And after virtual machine, we'll move towards the networking part, how you can manage the VNets, virtual networks. So we will discuss about the virtual networks, how you can manage the virtual networks, how you can do the VNet pairings between two geographical regions, right? And we will discuss about the storages options available inside our Azure, like storage blob, file, disk, the different type of storage options. And for network security, we have the NSE network security groups. We will see how we can manage the network security groups and firewalls, right? After this, the last module, module 6, where we will learn about the identity, how you can manage the identity, like RBAC roles, AAD, Azure Active Directory means the inter ID, the monitoring part, the security part, the backups, and the cost optimizations, and the preparation guidance for the certification. This is about the sixth module. So in this course, we are going to cover overall these six modules. Okay. This is just a small introduction about the content, but when you cover so many things we were going to cover in this course, it is just a small introduction, right? So after doing this, what are the opportunities? So why you will do these things? So what are the opportunities after completing the certifications? Like job roles after MCSM. You can apply for the which job roles. So the career opportunities include the system administrator, network administrator, IT support specialist, desktop support technician, cloud administrator, right? So we have different type of options available here. So after completing these certifications, we can prepare for these roles. So we'll get ready for these roles, right? So the top companies hiring for these roles. So when you talk, which company will hire us after completing these certifications? So many big MNCs are hiring, actively hiring for these profiles. Like we have our TCS, Tata Consultancy Service, Infosys, Wipro, HCL, Tech Mahindra, IBM, Capgemini, Accenture, Cognizant. So many big companies are hiring these type of engineers, right? So the big companies are hiring and they are giving you a very much attractive salary. So, like, so what is the eligibility and prerequisites for this course? So there is a no formal educational prerequisite is there. So that is for everyone. Like for a small child, like who is in 11th, 12th standards, or a college students, or a working professional. So anyone can join this course. So there is a no formal requirement for the education, right? Just a basic requirement that you will understand the English. So you can comfortably do these things. So recommended knowledge is here. Some if you have a basic knowledge about the computer networks, operating system and server concept, so it is good to have, but it is not a compulsory, right? So I will going to teach you everything from the scratch. So it is just an recommended, but if you don't have, so it is very good to go. So because I am going to cover all the things from the scratch, so you can freely complete all the things. No prerequisites is there. And does it require any type of experience? So when you look at the certification, so before taking the certification, it is good to having a 1 year or 2 years of experience. But for this course, there is a no experience is mandatory. Okay. So you can, if you are a fresher, so you can join this course and complete the certifications. For this is a very good certifications for the beginner because it is an IT level certifications. Like if you are fresher, so it is in a good entry level certification. So you can go for this certification. It will gives you the practical knowledge about the Windows Server and virtual machines and everything, right? So this is some basic about the course. So any doubt regarding the course? Up to this, clear all the things?
Awesome.
Uh, if you are not comfortable to opening the mic, so you can use the reaction buttons also. You can just react thumbs up, so I will understand. Okay. So this is about the course, and let's start with the syllabus. Okay. So first module, the introduction. Like before starting with
When
the
I wrote,
service. Yeah, what?
sorry, they will ask the degree certificates for the they will take the interviews, HRs in
They will,
Infosys, TCS, Capgemini.
if you are looking after the experience, so
No,
they will look towards the certification. But if you are a fresher, so the certification is not compulsory for you. You just must have the knowledge of these
no, just
certifications.
some previous. I will. I left the job after 2 months back, January. Soon.
Mhm.
I searched for the 2 months job. I have cracked the two interviews. One is the TCS, and they will ask the last degree son, after the after letter given. Joining them, they will ask the degree.
Yeah. So the basic requirement is graduation, right?
Uh,
So certifications are recommended, like when you see the job openings, so certifications are recommended, but in some companies, the certifications are compulsory, but in all the companies, certifications are not compulsory.
uh, that's the one.
But
Uh,
you can also communicate in Hindi also if you want to.
okay. So you are from some? You are from Bangalore or
I am from Madhya Pradesh, Jabalpur.
Madhya Pradesh? Okay.
So let's start with the very basics. Okay. So everyone use operating system, right? Everyone have the computers, and in the computers we have our operating system. So do you have idea what actually the operating system is doing? What is the purpose of our operating system? What type of activities it is handling? So let's suppose uh, I know only the Tamil language, okay, and you guys only know the English language, okay. So if I will try to communicate with you, so does communication will become successful?
No, sir.
No, right? Because I am knowing
You
any other
translate will.
language and you know any other language. So it will create a barrier to us.
Yes.
So this is the problem. Like that in computers, our computers will understand the binary language, right? The 0 1 language. But as humans, we know our native languages like Hindi, English, Tamil, Punjabi. What is our generally our native languages we know, right? So how we can communicate with the computer hardware? Because the computer hardware only knows the binary language, right? So this is the problem. So when you talk about the humans, if they are from the different cities, they know the different languages, they use the translator, right? The translator is a person that know the both the languages, right? So we can use the translator for like that. The translator type of things is doing by the operating system. So our operating system is just like working as a translator, right? So whatever our instructions we have, we will give our instructions to our operating system, right? And these instructions will pass towards the computer hardware. Let's suppose you have to manage your disk. You have to create the partitions. What you will do? You will not cut your hard disk into two pieces, right? You will give instructions to the operating system. You will use the utilities that are present. You will open the disk management. And from the disk management, you will give instructions to our operating system. And operating system will understand these instructions and forward the instructions to the computer hardware. And the logical separation will done. So our operating system is a type of system software. Okay. So we have different type of softwares when you talk about software, right? So system software, application software, utility software. So we have different set of softwares. Basically, when you talk about the system softwares, the software that is responsible for overall activities, like our operating system is a system software. Those system softwares are responsible for managing the basic background processes and all our activities, and that manage computer hardware. So our operating system will manage computer hardware, software resource, and provide essential service for computer programs. And it acts as an intermediary between user and computer hardware. So like it acts as a bridge between user and computer hardware, because user only knows the native languages and the computer hardware only knows the binary language. For filling this gap, we have our operating system. So we will give our instructions to the operating system. So then the instruction will get proceed. So operating system is very essential. Without operating system, you can't deal with your computer hardware. So the operating system is a must part. Like if you want to check which operating system you are using, so how you can check, like what are the different operating system options available to us. We have the Windows Server, Windows operating system like Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 11, right? We have Linux operating systems, CentOS, Kali Linux, Ubuntu. So we have different type of operating system. And if you are using your phone, so in phones also you have the Android operating system, right? In phones, we also have the operating systems. So in our mobile phone, we have generally the Android operating system that is based on the Linux, right? So we have the different type of operating systems available. So the core functionality of operating system is providing the interface between user and computer hardware that will work as an intermediary, right? So what the major tasks they are performing, the operating systems are performing, they are managing the processes. In our operating system, we have different type of processes present, right? For managing these all the processes, our operating system is responsible, right? So if you want to check the processes, you can just simply open the task manager, and here you will get the list of processes that your system is working on. So these are processes. You can view these processes in your systems, right? So these are the active processes that are working. So here you can see the sensors also, like how many RAM it is utilizing, CPU utilization. So all this stuff you can check. These stuffs is managing by your operating system, right? So you can open your task manager and you can list out all the processes. Sometimes you can see that any application is it is stuck. Like let's suppose the rest desk is not closing. We are trying to closing it manually from the graphical interface, but it is not closing. So what you can do, you can come to the task manager and right click on that service, and here you can click on end task. So it will forcefully turn off. So like this, you can do it. So we have the process management, the execution handling of processes, handling of multiple processes. It is done by our operating system. The memory management, the space allocation, the deallocation, like which process will be used, how much memory, so which process will get first the memory. So like all these things, the memory management is taken care by your operating system. Like a file system management, our file is managed inside a hierarchical structure, right? When you talk about Windows, Linux, they follow a hierarchical structure. Like, do you know what is the root drive in our Windows environment?
No, sir.
Basically, when you talk about the root drive, so root drive is your C drive. So when you install the operating system, you can see compulsorily you have the C drive in the Windows environment. So the C drive is our root drive. And we, if you need to access that C drive, you can just open the run prompt and type a slash, right? So you can directly jump to the C drive of your system. So here in this PC, you can see you have multiple drives, but in every operating system of your Windows, either it is Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 7, so you will get the C drive. So the C drive is known as the root drive in Windows environment, right? And if you want to open it from the shortcut, so just you can open the run prompt by pressing Window plus R, and inside the run prompt, you just need to type a slash and press enter. So it will open your root drive, means C drive. And when you create a new user, so you can see that the directory is also created with the name of user. Directory means a folder, right? So if you open the C drive, in C drives, you will get one folder that is users, right? When you open the users, so we'll get the list of users that is present inside your system. So for every users, they will create the directory with the name of the user. So currently my username is Lenovo. So here is a directory with the name of Lenovo, right? And all the user related data is captured inside that directory, means inside that folder. So if you open that folder, so you will get the desktop, downloads, documents, pictures, videos. So all the data related to that user is present inside that directory. Okay. So these management of a hierarchy is done by your operating system. So your operating system will arrange all the files and folders in a systematic way, in a systematic structure. So these all the things are taken care by your operating system. So it is a file system management, managing files and directory and storage. And next work is the device management. So we have the different type of devices we are using with our computers like mouse, keyboards, Bluetooths, external Wi-Fi adapters, webcams, like all these devices. So how these devices will connect to your system? For connecting these multiple devices, different type of devices, we need device drivers. And the drivers are also managed by our operating system. So you can see that device manager. So here you can manage all these drivers of these devices. Like let's suppose I have the camera. So for camera, we have the driver integrated camera. We have Bluetooth. So for Bluetooth, we have the driver. So for everything, we have the driver available here. So with the help of these drivers, all things will work. So this is also managed by our operating system, right? And when you see about user interfaces, so we have the two type of interfaces available, right? So we have the CLI interface, command line user interface, and we have the GUI interface. So Windows is the GUI based operating systems, means we have the graphical interface, like when you come in your home screen. So you can see the mouse is available here, an image is being. So when you, I will give you the basic task. Just you need to create a folder here, right? So how any beginner can create the folder easily. Just when you right click, you will get the list of options available here, right? From this option, like we need to create a new folder. You will when explore, you will go in the new button. So you will get the option like folder, and it is on also a logo here of a folder. So you can just go and create the folder very easily, right? Just because of the graphical environment. So all the things are graphically present, right? So this is the first type of interface, the graphical interface, the GUI based graphical user interface. And the other interface, we have the CLI interface, like when you use the Linux operating systems. So Linux operating systems are based on the CLI, command line user interface, right? So like for doing everything, you need to type a command, like it will give you like black and white screen like this. So no graphical experience. If you need to create the folder, So you must run the command. So like in Linux operating system, we have mkdir. For creating the folder, we have this command. So for every purpose, you need to run the command. And after you have created the folder, so for viewing the folder, you need to run the ls command, the list command. So like these commands you need to use for doing all these things. So these type of operating systems where you compulsorily need to write the commands for any type of operation. So that is the CLI based operating systems, right? So these are CLI based operating system. So user interface is also managed by your operating system, right? So we have two popular options for the user interface, that is GUI and CLI. So this is also the function of our operating system. And next is the security and access control, like who can log in your system. So all these things, like who can user management. You have multiple users. What users are actually doing? Users are creating the security boundaries, right? So for this, we have our security features like access control. We can control the access with the help of user. We can smoothen the authentication process. Like you can validate yourself that I am the valid user for the system. I have the permissions. I have the privileges. So security and access control is also taken care by your operating system, right? So these are the core functions of your operating systems. What actually operating system performs and what is the operating system. So up to this clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I think that's good for today. Then we will continue in the next day. Okay. And
You will create any WhatsApp group or anything, sir?
yeah, you can discuss from the management team. You can contact to the Sachin sir. So they will create it. Okay.
If there any
The
notes, we
timing
can.
is similar. Like this is the weekday classes. So timings are similar and the classes will happen on the weekdays, like from Monday to Friday. Okay.
Okay.
Monday to Friday, 8.
Yeah.
Okay. So tomorrow we will meet also in the same time and continue the classes. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other query from anyone? No. If you have any query, so you can ask, or if you want to connect with the